So here we have my very first colouring book. Funnily enough, the cover was probably what was the easiest for me to design. Obviously, I didn't actually create these drawings myself. I found them on Canva Pro. And yeah, after I created the inside of my book, I discovered this image. I was like, this is perfect. So none of these animals are actually in the colouring book itself, but I've seen a lot of other colouring books out there that do the same thing. So to help ensure that my future customer isn't unhappy when they discover this, I actually added it in the description of the listing. And I did say that on the back, the images in white, they are the images that are inside. Another thing I mentioned is that they aren't all this kind of cute style. Wish they were, but I couldn't find that for every single animal in the book. At least I said that honestly, and I did say that I tried to find the cutest animals I could find using Canva Pro, and I also actually said that I found the jokes via ChatGPT, and I actually did spend a long time trying to find a joke that was semi-funny for each animal. Still not all that funny, but it's the best I could do, and it's good enough for a child colouring book. So this is the first page, which is actually the page I'm least happy with. And originally it was different. I actually had a line higher up, and I think visually that looked better. That said, I did have a border around here with cute little animal prints, but it was actually more of a square. But when I looked at it later, I was like, nah, there's no way that that's not gonna get cut off. Like, I may get half of those footprints cut off if I do that. So I thought I'd play it safe, and I created this. And today we're going to color this in, and maybe it will look okay once colored in. I'm not going to bother, relisting this whole thing because it took so long. KDP was very difficult to deal with. One thing I've learned is not to make any mistakes in the beginning when it comes to creating the titles of your listings, because I literally emailed them back and forth for 10 days by 20 emails just to get the smallest details corrected, and also to get my author name changed. I wanted the book author name and also my author page name to be Simply Noble, just like it says here in the back. So, as you can see, I did single-sided pages so that it wouldn't leak through on the other side. I mean, obviously it is going to leak through. You're going to see all the colors. You can see that the paper is quite fine, a little bit finer than I would like. But all I really care about is that the color won't, say I color on here, I just don't want the color to leak through onto this drawing. It's possible, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, when I looked through this, I was actually pretty happy with it all. There were certain ones like here, I was like, oh, is the writing going to fit? I needed to tweak the wording sometimes because it was slightly over the page margin. And thankfully it all fits in. And I mean, it wouldn't have been the end of the world if it was kind of hidden under there, but it's so much better when you don't have to do that when you're coloring in. And yeah, I'm just very thankful that it's all readable, and the pictures are nice and large. It's hard to see on a PC how large they'll be, but they're a lot larger than I thought, so that's fantastic. I used the same font in the title as I did in the wee jokes, and yeah, the jokes may be a little bit too difficult for a little toddler or 5-year-old to colour in, but the parents can always help, or else they can just give it a messy colour. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just wanted them to have the option to colour in everything, including the words. So yeah, like here, all it was initially was an elephant, and I created this cute little, I just find this little shrub and butterfly to add. I just felt like it brought it to life a bit more. I did spend quite a lot of time trying to place them in a decent spot. Bit of a perfectionist. Added the flower there. Very simple images, some of them. See, here's an example of the picture and the design being quite different to the other ones. Those leaves weren't there, but I thought that goes quite well with the giraffe. They love their leaves. And yeah. I mean, I could have maybe put a border around the edges, but no, I like that it's open. Iguana. So if anyone's interested in buying this colouring book, I will add the Amazon link in the description below this video. So yes, you're welcome to buy it. At the moment it is $6.99. Who knows, maybe I'll lower the price even more sometime. It was $7.50 US at the moment, so I have lowered it a bit. But yeah, in terms of how much I'd actually earn, it's really not much. I think maybe it's $1.60, maybe even less in terms of royalties, but I'd be happy with anything. I'm not really expecting to make many, if any, sales, but it's just something I've always wanted to do. I've always said I'd love to create my own coloring book, and my dream is to actually create my own mandala coloring book, but I know that's going to take such a long time to design all those images. I want it to all be hand drawn, so it's like, you know what, I just want to learn the basics first. So that's what I did with this one. Monkey boy. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with it all. I made sure everything was aligned. I actually spent all night, you guys, creating this. I'm not joking. I went to sleep at 6 a.m. I'm insane. And I was working on it from about 2 p.m. the day prior. So yeah, I was exhausted, and I was having to deal with all this paperwork when I was trying to publish it. And I just did not want to give up. I'm one of those all or nothing people. If I say I'm going to do something by a certain time, I'll do it, and I'll stay up all night if I have to. But yeah, I probably won't do that anymore if I can avoid it. But that's just how I am sometimes, unfortunately. And then, yeah, I don't recommend it. I just recommend that you do the work, and then you have a good sleep, and then you'll be much more productive the next day. And then I wouldn't have probably made little errors with the titles and things. So yeah, lesson learned. This one I don't really find that cute. There were some that weren't as great. I do really like these ones. You can tell it's by a certain artist. That's if it's not AI. Snaky. That's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun colouring this in. I didn't have to pay much for it. Well, actually I did. I lie. I had to spend a good $21 US or so. Or was it? No, New Zealand dollars, I think. It's just the delivery that costs so much. I had to get it delivered from the US. Australia, for some reason, doesn't deliver to New Zealand. Amazon, that is. We're getting there. Oh, there's one that, okay, after this one, there's one that I really don't like. And it's because of the name. It's really hard to find an animal that starts with X. And this is such an ugly picture. And I spent such a long time trying to find a joke that even related to a Xenops. That's how you say it. And ChatGPT was telling me all this nonsense, and it just wasn't funny. And I literally said, "Is that the best you can do?" Like, and yeah, after about 30 options, I got this, and I reworded it because it barely fit in the page. Why did the Xenops become a comedian? Because of its feather-brained humor. So that's the least funny joke of all. But you know, I had to put something there. The yak. We're getting there. And the zebra. I think that's going to be a lot of fun colouring that one in. Now for the fun part, we're going to colour in a little bit of this book. And yeah, I want to test out these pens for the first time. I bought them about a week or two ago from the warehouse. About 58 New Zealand dollars, which is super cheap for all these pens. And it's had some really good reviews. One person did say that it doesn't blend super well, but they were still very impressed with the quality. And apparently they last and last. It's an 80 pack. And it contains a brush on one side and a fine nib on the other. So yeah, let's give it a go. Let's see if it leaks through the other page or not.